back to my channel. I'm Erica, and today I'm going to be starting to sew on my Barn Star sampler quilt. I am going to be starting block 1. So I'm excited to share all of that with you and to get started sewing on this quilt. For block number 1, we'll be making 2 identical blocks and they are 24 inches each. So let's get started. I just squared up my half square triangles to 2.5 inches. That's what the pattern calls for. And I wanted to share with you on this one how I square up my triangles. So it is an extra step and it does take time, but I feel like it is well worth it because it helps your overall block turn out really precise. So I use this Quilt in a Day ruler, and it says you have to square, for this pattern it says square them up to 2.5 inches. So you just find the 2.5 inch line. You have your half square triangle before you iron it, and you have a stitch line here. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your block, or your ruler, find that 2.5 inch line. You're going to line it up with that stitch line, and then you'll trim off any excess. So you can see there, you can kind of push it over there to the edge, so it's really lined up on the edge there, and then you have a lot to trim off over here. But what I like to do is I like to center this line the best I can on the triangle, like this. Let me see if I can show you. So now you can see how there's just a little sliver to trim off right there, and then you also have some to trim off here. So that's how I like to do it. I like to get the ruler kind of centered on my half square triangle so I can trim off on both sides. But I mean, you could just do one side, but I like to just kind of center it. See how you have this line here? You can kind of find the center. So you want, the pattern for this says you need to square all of these half square triangles up to 2.5 inches. So once again, find take the stitch line and line it up with the 2.5 inch dashing or line on your ruler. So you can see just past the ruler, you can see the stitch line there. I'm going to line it up. Then I'm going to try to center, whoops, my mat's turning. Try to center this so that I have trimmings on either side of the ruler. So I think that looks good. And then I will just go ahead and trim that. And you can see here are the ones I've already trimmed, and here's all the trimmings. So it really does make quite the difference. So I highly recommend trimming up your blocks when a pattern calls for it. Okay, I thought I'd show you I'm still sewing, and here is where I'm at. I still have all these pieces to add, but I have this unit together, so there were 4 of them. And then these pieces sewed, and so now I'm working on the side units. So that's where I'm at here. I just finished this step, and now I'm moving on to this step. So I haven't been filming all of it, but I wanted to just show you. So these ones go with this. I just wanted to show you where I was at. Sorry, this is kind of sloppy. But that's where I'm at. I got this unit sewed together. Right, where are we? Right here. And this is where I'm at. This is everything I have sewed so far. And I've been sewing for over 2 hours, and I'm only on block 1. So this is definitely a labor of love. I am on this step here, and I'm confused, so I'm going to just make it how I think it should be made and go from there. But let me show you. You're making a square and a square unit. It says see page 76. Let me show you what 76 looks like. So it shows to make your square and a square unit that you start with squares. You start with a base square and put 2 squares on top at a diagonal or across from one another, I guess, and stitch and then trim, right? But for this block 1, go back to block 1. Excuse me. our L pieces right here are already cut in half. So I'm just making it like this. I'm watching how they have the pressing, so I'm going to do this. I stitched it down. I centered my triangle on there, so I have a little overhang on both sides. I stitched, I'm going to press it open and then add the other two. And then I'm going to trim it according to what the instructions say. But that is one complaint I guess that I have, is when you go to page 76, it shows you putting squares on top of your base square. But we have triangles that we're putting on top of our base square, if that makes sense. So one little hiccup in my opinion, and hopefully I'm doing this correctly. So I was able to square up the center unit to 6 1/8 inch square, and it said make sure to leave a 1/4 inch on all sides. So I'm hoping I did well enough on that. Now I'm going to be moving on to the last step. So let's see, I will be adding M to the outside of all of these edges, and then I will be able to assemble the block. So super excited to get block 1 complete. Oh my goodness, I finally have block 1 done. I'm so excited. So this is block 1, and the pattern calls for 2 identical blocks. So let me get the other one and show you both of them together. I could only fit one on the table, so I will put both of them on the floor and show you both of them side by side. Okay, I just finished block 1 in the Barn Star Sampler quilt, and I'm loving them. So if you recall, I picked out this fabric right here to be kind of like my inspiration fabric, so I plan on using it in most of my blocks. I don't know if I'll use it in every block, but in most of them. So what do you guys think? Block 1 for the Barn Star Sampler is done. Share your thoughts with me. Let me know what you think. So these are huge blocks. They finish at 24 inches by 24 inches. And these took me hours and hours to complete. I can't recall how much time it took me to cut out the fabric, but each of these blocks took me over 3 hours to make per block. So just to compare, here's the block that's in the book compared to the blocks that I made. I think they turned out so good. I hope you guys enjoyed following along, and follow along for more sewing on this quilt with me. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll catch you guys next time. Bye.